All right, guys, so here it is, Designer Face-to-Face Volume 17. So this is the dev notes for AFK Arena. All right, guys, so the battles in Abyssal Expedition Season 8 will be fully automated. Will there be any further adjustments for subsequent seasons? Now, this was really a big sticking point with Season 7 going to Season 8, seeing the difference in how the boss, you could actually manual it to do a lot more damage. There's been a lot of discussion around the issue of whether the Abyssal Expedition should be manual or auto. It's also something we've taken into great care to study more about, including by gathering feedback through multiple questionnaires and interviews early in Season 8. As a result, we found that most players prefer the manual mode. Manual mode, of course, being a lot easier to do. Most players preferred the manual mode to be removed. Exactly. So I was just thinking about that. So the auto mode is the preferred method, again, because it is easier to do. Literally, you put your heroes on auto, they run with the formation you got. We decided to retain only the auto battle mode for the final boss challenge in Season 8. After making the adjustments, received a lot of feedback from players still wanted the manual option. Original intent was the manual mode is to enhance teamwork and a sense of participating among adventures, that it is just not auto. That literally you just go in there and you auto it. But inevitably, it would make the game experience more time intensive. That is what they're trying to get away from, guys, is the amount of time and effort that you're putting into AFK Arena. In comparison, the auto mode was less stressful and draining. Also sacrificed part of the game's strategic nature. At the end of 8, conducted more detailed survey. Based on the results, they have the following plan. So this is going to be the adjustments for the Abyssal Expedition going forward. In the future Abyssal Expedition, we will be alternating between auto and manual and modifying the game content accordingly. So there is going to be probably Season 9 might be manual, Season 10 might be auto. The next beta season will be introduce a brand new boss and map design. It will allow you to explore the new map and boss battle mechanics. Final boss will only feature the auto mode for Season 10. It will be manual. So they are going to go kind of back and forth. P.S. Given the strategic impact of the adjustments to the manual mode for Season 10, certain design features to extend the boss duration. If the Oaken has a maximum of 20 levels, now they have talked about this, guys. Heroes from a single faction can no longer fit in there. It's not an ideal arrangement. A lot of players with OCD do not want to see the combination of the heroes. With the increased number of heroes, we have noticed the issue of maximizing levels in the tower. We're still trying to come up with a better plan to ensure the graphics work. Too many floors appear on the screen, as well as reasonable movement through the visiting heroes. So they're having issues with this systematically having more floors in there. When you go in there, guys, there's an incredible amount of movement when you have 20 floors of heroes going through. So I'm not sure if there's going to be, hey, they're in the inn. There might be inactive towers, or there might be a set amount of levels that you can actually display the physical characters. There's going to be an update to this that is going to be coming, short of just adding more floors to the existing towers. It takes a lot of time and energy training a high-level beast. Do you plan to optimize this? If you've seen our patch notes, there is a beast system that is going to be coming in, expediting the training elements and formations. Initial cost of training was higher than that for heroes. Now this, again, has been a big complaint since the beasts have been released. It's actually much cheaper to build out an awakened hero than it is for the beast, just because sheerly the number and the odds that you have in there, because we want to make it a longer experience for players. After launching the beast system, we received feedback, including the pricing and training costs for beasts being excessive, which it was, guys. Free-to-play had absolutely no opportunity and still continues to struggle with getting beasts and building up the new beasts. The concern that future new beasts to be too powerful, wasting previous training beasts, which is the case. Since we've seen the owl released, the owl is actually the most powerful beast, putting a lot of other beasts kind of in a lower tier because of the power creep that we have with heroes, but as beasts as well. And beasts being released too rapidly, absolutely agree, guys, too rapidly with the beasts. Don't get enough resources to train them. We've taken such feedback and onboarded in discussion it. So this is the resonant system. Now this is what, again, in the patch notes, it should be up tomorrow, making the beast train much less intensive. When an adventurer possesses a certain number of beasts, which they haven't told us yet, all their other beasts will be elevated straight to the same level. For example, if a player has 4 level 6 beasts, Other beasts below level 6 will be elevated to 6. Now, my question with this, the function is currently being developed and will be available soon. My big question with this is current players that have built out a bunch of beasts. Let's say I have, 6 beasts to level 6. Are they going to give me resources putting them back to, having 4 beasts at level 6 with the resonating function in there? Or am I just going to lose out on all the other beasts that I built? That is yet to be seen, guys. In addition, we'll have more launching more beasts, which we know there's another beast already coming. Related features, the more beast training items to be earned by players. Definitely need. As previously said, after the first 8 beasts, they'll come at a slower pace. That is what we've talked about for a long time. That beast, when you're releasing heroes every 2 weeks and you're releasing beasts on a frequency, you're literally splitting resources between heroes and beasts, which again was one of the big concerns, is not only building the beast but building the heroes. Because again, when you look at things like the Noble Society, you can either pick materials that are going to build out your heroes, or you can pick materials that are going to give you bait and actually build out your beasts. So we'll have to see what comes of this. You can see, therefore, we said we'd slow it down after the first 8 beasts, and they're sticking to the plan. But as mentioned, the new system makes beast training less intensive, so we reckon we might then wish more new beasts, more strategy orientated, which I think would be cool as long as they give us an opportunity to build out these beasts. We'll be adding a new beast every 1 to 2 months, which we know. So optimization plan, this is what we just talked about. The buffing up of early heroes is one issue we've asked about most frequently based on players' feedback we have received from our previous adjustment of old heroes and that of the assessment of the current game environment. We found that making drastic changes to the skills of early heroes would compromise the game experience. So that means that all of these heroes that you have, the old school heroes that you built out, are going to be kind of garbage because there's not going to be any use for them. For one, it would affect the current strategy. Also, it would increase the difficulty of PvE gameplay. Therefore, we do not take lightly any changes we made to old heroes. Meanwhile, we will be monitoring the frequency of appearance of old heroes in different features and release more features in the future where the heroes can shine again. So again, it seems like a lot of the older heroes, they're not going to rework. It seems like that, they used to rework them on a regular basis. Then we got the Awakened Heroes. The Awakened Heroes, we never seen any more really reworks after the Awakened Heroes have been there. So I think at this point, guys, the older heroes are not going to be reworked. They might have an awakened version of an older hero, but I think the older heroes are not going to be reworked any further in AFK Arena. All right, guys, last page. In certain features, the combination of Awakened Baden and Mortis works very well together. Was this part of the plan? With the skill Vine Lash, Awakened Baden can convert any healing received from an imprisoned enemy into damage. It has a strategic component to Mortis' skill Devilish Steel, which can restore the health of enemies. The effect can not only be triggered when such enemies is imprisoned and are subject to restraints, such as enemies lost health, certain environmental buffs. Well, the greater the healing received, the greater the damage inflicted. We feel these mechanics form an interesting strategic combination with the scope, so we do not plan to make changes. Now, this is one of the big things within the Cursed Realm. If you've noticed within the first formations, players are running the Awakened version of Baden with Mortis for this exact reason. Of course, we'll continue to monitor the effects of Vine Lash and various features. It doesn't really skew the game balance unless you do not have the Awakened version of Baden. So a lot of free-to-play players, if they don't have Baden Awaken, it did widen the gap between the Cursed Realm because of this hero specifically working in conjunction with Mortis. That is probably why they addressed it here, would be my thought. Can you reveal your plans for future Awakened Heroes? Many adventurers have asked us about our plan for Awakened Heroes after the end of the Elemental Strife storyline. This is where we were kind of questioning if they were going to continue with the Awakened Heroes or if it was going to be something different or if they were going to drop it. Since then, they have confirmed that Awakened Heroes will come. There's going to be a brand new storyline while introducing new Awakened Heroes at about the same pace, which is roughly every 2 months for an Awakened Hero, as we've done so that you can battle, transform, and grow together with your heroes. As for the issue of acquiring time emblems, now this again is probably one of the biggest things, guys. which many of you have been asking about. We have taken note, and there are a limited number of time emblems available in the King's Tower. So as you're progressing through the faction towers, guys, you're pretty limited. For majority of players, getting more time emblems is almost null at this point. Even for me, it is very difficult to climb up towers. Even if I go up 20 floors, guys, I only get 5 time emblems with the probability of not getting anyone out of there, which can be quite limited for players, new awakened heroes. Next year, we will introduce new features that allow adventurers to claim certain number of time emblems for free, which again will kind of, hopefully, depending how many there are, make it easier to get those. Please bear with us. We'll update you as soon as they are available. The year 2022 has gone past in a blink of an eye, and all of the AFK are extremely grateful for love and support. In the future, we'll strive to deliver even more awesome content. If you have ideas or suggestions about the game, please let us know through customer service. Now, AFK Arena is one of the very few games that I've played that actually solicits and looks for feedback from the players, guys. In my opinion, very friendly, free to play. I have free to play accounts. I have the YouTube account. Overall, very cool to see the dev notes in here, guys. They know some of the sticky points with players. They're addressing a couple of those. Beasts, of course, were a huge part. Definitely making the adjustments to the resonating crystal is going to be cool to see. Sorry, guys, so that'll do it for today's dev notes. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of them. And as always, thank you guys for watching.